just please note that it's not a Kubernetes operator. It's just an application that have API interacting with the PipeCD agent. If you look inside, the control plane is contains several other component as well. And I'm not going in detail here, but the um, the responsibility of the control plane is just to manage the run of the pipe D that I said above. Every deployment is being handled by the pipe D that will install inside your cluster. Say if you have a Kubernetes cluster, you will install the PipeCD inside your cluster. That PipeCD will connect to PipeCD control plane running somewhere. In context of a company that using PipeCD, you would have one control plane being shared between different teams. Say the team A has managing cluster A, so they install the PipeCD to cluster A. Team B has cluster B, they install PipeCD in cluster B. Then everything's when every PipeCD will connect to the control plane to um, say store the state of the deployment that they are handling right now. That is the basic idea of PipeCD architecture. So we have several other um, what can I say concept that you can find out here. So you can check it out from PipeCD.dev concept later. Other than that, I recommend you can check play.pipecd.dev if you not yet know about the PipeCD um, um, what can I say glance. You can everyone can access to PipeCD play.pipecd.dev. You can just log in using your GitHub uh, account. Say you are set to play.pipecd.dev. Let's play here. Click continue. Log in with GitHub, and you can come. It's just as basic as that. And you see here is the UI of PipeCD. I have here, we have several examples here, but I think mostly it's Kubernetes, Cloud Run, and Terraform. Yes, we have something like that. This page is the application page. Clicking one like this one is you will have the UI will name application detail page of PipeCD. You see here, we have the graph that's showing resource of the application being managed by PipeCD. You seeing here several um, information about the application that being managed by PipeCD. You see here is right now mentioned that is out of sync. And when you click in here, you see that what is the exact difference between the thing on in cluster and the thing that we find in your Git. This is the reef detection feature of PipeCD. Basically, when you think about GitOps, this is the feature that required for any GitOps tool. And also, you can see here that we have a link saying that is configuration directory. When you clicking that, you will jump to the PipeCD example that contain the configuration of the application that being managed by PipeCD right now. The most important file can be saying here that name app.pipecd.yaml. This file contain everything that um, need by the PipeCD to understand how to deploy your application. The part that you being interested should be this part, the pipeline one. So I will show you what it look like right now. Other than that, you have just the normal manifest like any other Kubernetes application because it's Kubernetes type application right here. So if you jump to this one, the latest deployment, you will see this plate. This is the deployment details. This name the deployment details. Every application has multiple deployment. Each deployment is one time you trigger a things or you have an update on your manifest that's stored in Git that we I think that's the normal thing if you already know about GitHub. So when you see here, I have something nice to show you also. You see here the commit, and when you click in that one, you see what exactly changed for this deployment to be triggered. So basically, I just show you one flow jumping around with this UI of PipeCD. So come back to the pipeline that I talked previously. This one. Let me show you how you see. Uh, okay, let me show. Okay, this one is quite long time no deployment. Okay, this one good. Uh, you will see here is an example deployment of PipeCD that reflect the configuration of this application. We see in the application configuration file, we have state name canary rollout, we have state name analyst, we have state name primary rollout, then we have state name canary clean. So in for PipeCD, we defined several state like this one. You what you can do is you use the PipeCD predefined state, manipulating that to build your deployment pipeline. So you may see here the analyst, what exactly it is. Basically, you can use PipeCD with other things like Prometheus or Datadog as the analyst tool for your deployment. You may check it out from the documentation if you searching for analyst. And you see here canary rollout analyst, primary rollout canary clean is just like is here canary rollout analyst, primary rollout, and canary clean. And by default, if anything wrong happen, like in the middle at the analyst stage, the pipe figure out that is an error that happening while is applying the analyst stage is automatically trigger rollback, so you can revert to the previous to the last working um, version of your application. So yeah, it's basically off as well. So I think that is the quick introduction of what is PipeCD, what is the uses of PipeCD, and how you see PipeCD. If you have any question right now, I'm happy to answer. I think someone just raised the question here. I want to ask for some guideline regarding the contributor selection process. I have
And I
contributing
think
to.
we can take these questions at the end. How does that sound?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Uh, Questions related to LFX or contribution in general will be taken towards the end. Let's just say 20-30 minutes after we are done with V1 and the plugins.
okay. So if nothing else, no one have any question about what is PipeCD and what is the uses of PipeCD, I think we good to go with the next with the next section. Let's talk about PipeCD V1 and about the plugins. I think starting from here, we have several blog already. Um, Let me see this one. So for you, if you new to the PipeCD project, the V0 is about the architecture that I show you lastly. We have the control plane, we have the pipe D, and that all. Inside the pipe D, we have a concept named uh, platform provider is here in the concept page. So what is the platform provider with PipeCD exactly? PipeCD supports several workloads. Like I mentioned previously, we have Kubernetes, ECR, Terraform, Cloud Run, Lambda. And in V0, every platform supporting logic, every platform supporting code base um, in, is included inside the PipeCD code base. So basically, we release only one binary for the PipeCD. Every um, platform support the code is intact inside that binary. So it lead to several problems. The first one is the more we want to support, like we want to support different kind of workload, like the Azure function or OpenTofu, something like that. Is required to release the whole new binaries. Second is when we need to like bug fixing for some platform, it requires us to release a new version of PipeD as well. And it's Scrum, like it's hard to schedule uh, a, a plan. It's hard to plan a schedule to support many things at once like that. And also, I can say that it's quite hard to keep everything at once because the dependencies and thing related between X provider. So making them as plugin for PipeD is the idea and the goal we have for a while. And until I think last year we finally done the very first version of that, and we name is the PipeD V1. From V1, you would have the PipeD, and each the platform could be the plugin for the PipeD. They connecting together using gRPC. If you not yet know about gRPC, you can I recommend to check out about gRPC to understand. Um, Easier to understand the pipe D because between control plane and pipe D we using the gRPC as well. That's the thing we aim for. Why? Next is not just only the platform to be the plugin of pipe D. We also make other things like I showed you before about the analyst. If you look at the concept page, you may notice about analyst provider. That I said, you can use Prometheus or Datadog as the analyst provider for PipeD deployment. And from V1, this thing becomes the plugin for PipeD as well, which means that from now on, the PipeD code base is only focusing on how to do Git off, how to connect to your Git repository, how to trigger the deployment, how to build the deployment pipeline. That thing is the only thing that Pipe focusing on. For X stage, just like stage I showing you here, for X stage, the state execution will be handled by the correct plugin. That is the basic idea and design of the PipeCD V1. Of course, it's not just the PipeD have changed to achieve that goal, but also the control plane have to update, have field, have thing to update as well. Say, if you look at the example I showing you here, you may see that we have things like high Kubernetes app. I can say that um, at the zero version of PipeCD, things like Kubernetes app, ECS app, everything like that is inside the model of the PipeCD. We have to remove things like this and give things attract like high application, something like that. We need to update in order to fit with the new PipeCD goal. Also, you may see here we have thing like filter. You see here that we have guide, Kubernetes, Terraform Lambda, Cloud and ECS. The guide here is one of the core um, val one of the core variable that being that widely that's being used widely in the PipeCD v0 code base, both in control plane and in the PipeD. For PipeD v1, of course, is we're not using that anymore, but we need to update um, code in the control plane so that it's not relies on this anymore. So we have some um, what can I say? Plan for this one, like making this kind as the label of the application, so you can keep filtering the application based on the kind label or something like that. So that's a thing we done up to now for the PipeD v1. The PipeD v1 alpha is already released and you can test it. So once you check it out, I think it's easier for you to understand what exactly is the thing being happens. So I think that's pretty everything I want to say about what is the PipeCD V1. What else should I keep going, Rahul?
I think there is a question from a person. Please open the Gmeet, and yeah, I think he has asked a fairly good question.
Okay, let me check.
The
Uh,
latest one.
what happen if a plugin fail to load and crash during a deployment? Okay, so that's a good question. About PipeCD up to now, I can say it's relies on the pool model. So you can see here, even in the V0, every time when the PipeCD run a deployment, if it fail in the middle, like we have multiple stage in a pipeline, the pipeline try to apply the first state, the pipeline try to run the second state, and after each state finished, it will ping to control plane to store its stage. So if the pipeline fails in the middle, uh, the pipeline will be restart and it will keep running with the pipeline, which means that it will try to do the next step in the pipeline that being planned before. That is the model of the pipeline. And for V1, the same thing is doing, which means that when the plugin failed, it's supposed to be rerun. If it's not rerun automatically, basically we expect that the pipeline should be rerun. And after that, it should keep working with the pipeline. So that is the answer. I not remember about um I not remember about the plugin cell cell rerun right now. but I can say that the behavior, if the PipeCD V1 failed, it will be restart. And when the PipeCD being restart, it will try to restart all the plugin that being configured for for it, which means that here, I think this is the configuration of the PipeCD. You will see here we have the config of the plugin that should be handled by this PipeCD. So when the PipeCD restart, it will try to restart all the plugin that being configured for it. So say if the PipeCD only the PipeCD failed, but this like Kubernetes plugin is not failed, is still running, then it should going well. But if the PipeCD but if the thing that being failed is the plugin, not the PipeCD, then I think if we do not have the cell rerun logic right now, it's supposed that the PipeCD should be restart, and after that the plugin will be restart, and it should keep running from the last state that being stored in the control plane. That is the answer. Is that answer the question? Uh, Next one, what type of gRPC communication does PipeCD primarily use? It is binary stream or mixing both. I can say that unary, only unary, because for it's I can say that if it's not the gRPC, you can basically use the HTTP for connection between PipeCD and its plugin. Say if you only want to have some place that we interact with, but uh, the reason we use gRPC because first of all, you we want to have kind of interface that declarative using proto. We can define the proto in we can define the interface in proto. Then we can generate things the code for connection for both side. That was one of the primary reason that we use the gRPC, not because it have the bidirectional streaming on that we use, but it's more like because of that reason. So we primarily use the inary. Maybe we have some endpoint that using bidirectional streaming, but I don't think that uh, I don't think we have that much, and that's not the reason why we use gRPC. So next question, I'm asking because failed installation stream on 35 can be loaded dynamically. Okay, I think we need to take a look on what is the exact behavior of the plugin right now. But I can say that the PipeCD do not try to restart the plugin as soon as possible when the plugin failed, if I remember correctly. But what I can say for sure is when the PipeCD being restart, it will try to restart the plugin. The reason we do that is because we don't want to like um, make the life cycle of life cycle management of the plugin being too complex. We want to keep it as simple as possible because we think about the PipeCD's just like when everyone think about port in Kubernetes, which means that it's stateless, and when it failed, everything should fail, and when it restart, everything should be restart. That that's the thing we aiming for. But of course, and you said for the case that the plugin being failed, we have the heartbeat. We have the heartbeat that the PipeCD trying to ensure that the plugin is still available. I think we have that one, but when it's being failed, I don't think we have the logic to trying to restart the plugin. Let's check about let's check for that in the code by later. Um, okay, nice. Next is PipeCD deployment model is built around application and deployment config resource. Yes, with pipeline state like analyst with run out changing in real time. Yes, basically those that state in V0 all be defined by PipeCD and all be defined, which means that all be defined by the PipeCD team. But from V1, that thing will be defined by the plugin, not by the PipeCD, which means that say if we have 30 pipe plugin, that plugin could define their supporting stage and the PipeCD that being configured to use that plugin will be able to handle that stage, which means that the user with that plugin can use the plugin defined state to manipulating their application deployment. That is the cool thing we have in V1, which means that user not only can not not just can only use the state being defined by PipeCD team, but they can self building the plugin and self building the state that they want to manipulating the deployments. That is the cool thing. And what we do with that is PipeCD V1 when it starts, it will start all the PipeCD plugin that being configured in uh, this application in this configuration like this. And when the plugin starts, it will try to um, when the plugin start, the PipeCD will try to ping the plugin, and the plugin will answer the pipeline that I have this and this and this state that can be handled by me. So the pipeline will understand what is the state that is supposed to uh, passing when user give the pipeline an application configuration. That is the flow. Heaplam plugin typically fetch data via Kubernetes Watch and Informer. So for this plugin, when we pull PipeCD on gRPC API, or does a PipeCD also export deployment state through Kubernetes CRD that Heaplam existing watch mechanism could do directly? This choice will really save the real-time update strategy. So this is the question about the PipeCD Heaplam plugin, right? I can say that I do not have that clear uh, vision about Heaplam, and mostly the idea for this term three project is come by the community. Someone raised the hand and said that it's time to have the PipeCD plugin for Heaplam. The point here is the project is PipeCD plugin for Heaplam, not Heaplam plugin for PipeCD. So I think you understand it really well because the question is about Heaplam side, how it can get the deployment status, right? So I can say I'm not yet decide what exactly we need in order to implement the Heaplam, the PipeCD plugin for Heaplam because I'm not yet looking at the Heaplam code base and the thing. I just last week I just talked to the Heaplam maintainer and asking about that, and I will check that later. But definitely, I think the easiest way is to make some API, some is gRPC API for from the from the pipe design in order to make the heap lamp to have some endpoint to get information from the pipe CD. Um, and I think it's not exactly. I'm not sure it's like from community CRD. Because I just like I said, I'm not yet look at the heap lamp internally. If the heap lamp internally is existing as a community CRD, then you are right about that. It's supposed to be some community CRD that request to the PipeCD control plane endpoint to get the deployment status and showing that in the headlamp UI. That exactly thing that will be happen. Yes, and yeah, it's polling. Of course, it's polling. Okay. Anything else? I happy that we have a lot of good question. It's just like we can discuss whatever.
Yeah, I think that is enough for V1 architecture. So if any one of you has any questions regarding contribute, Khan, do you have the agenda doc open? There are a few questions there. You can answer them. I'll share the link again
Uh,
in the chat.
this one,
Uh, no, I'll just share it.
can you send me again about the
Yeah,
question?
I sent it in the chat.
Okay.
Yep, please scroll down a little.
Okay. Okay. Which error is currently the most in need of maintainer and regular contributor? So I think we can separate this question to be two parts. The first part is for maintainer and the second part is for the contributor. I'm not sure everyone what everyone think about responsibility of the contributor and of the maintainer. But for me, the maintainer job is about make sure that what is already being implemented will keep being right, which means that mostly it's when like bug fixings, finding out that something that we tend to have thing working that way, but it's still not yet being implemented or it not yet being the best version of that design. That is a thing under the maintainer responsibility, which means that it's basically work with things that already exist. And for the contributor, it's basically about the new things. Like you have several idea, and because it's the new thing, you can free to go with many different idea. Like you have an idea about the new plugin, you have an idea about um, how to better connecting between PipeCD and the other project, like just like heatlamp, right? So it's not PipeCD plugin, but it's like the plugin, the PipeCD plugin for heatlamp, not a new plugin for PipeCD. So thing like that is really welcome for the contributor. So I think that pretty much answer the question. We are now have more what can I say? Want to have more resource around the contributor, which means that we want to have more new things, more plugin that being add to the PipeCD. That is the thing that we want to have the mod. Of course, we understand that while you doing the plugin, you would notice that we have several things that need to be improved in order to make a plugin. Like if you actually get your hand on making your own plugin, you would see that there's still several things around the SDK that need to be updated. I say for sure, in order to make that easier for the user to making the plugin. So that could be the chance to commit to the PipeCD SDK as well. And for the maintainer job, I think just like I said around PipeCD V1 need to not just update in the PipeCD but also in the control plane as well. I think if you find in the issue, we have I think I have the link right here. I'm not sure this one, right? 5CD plugin architecture, and we have supporting control plane. I think this one. Yeah, I think this one. We still have several things, I guess, underneath. Not this one, not this one. Yeah, I think this thing like this still, which means that if you look at this one, as I said, Kai is one of the core thing that being wisely inside 5CD control plane. It's not just like only about the feature, but it's like about the monitoring component as well. If you look at the 5CD chem chart, or you look at the 5CD raw manifest that being generated by Hemchart, you would see that we use Prometheus and Grafana um, as the monitoring tool for PipeCD control plane, and that is maybe some place still using Kai, but should not being that anymore. We supposed to use label interest of Kai value. Okay, I think I may show you thing that easier for you to understand what exactly I'm talking about. If you look at the PipeCD code base, PKG, of course, is Go project. In the model, in the not application.go, sorry. I think it's application.proto. Yes, this one. You would see that, yeah, we have this one, application guide. This one, because it's inside the model, I can say that still some place inside the control plane refer to use this one, but we mark this as duplicated already. And I can say most of our work around with the pipe CD V1 is already done, and um, the current control plane is available to work with the control to work with the pipe DV1 already. So I can say it's like pretty good enough, but still I believe that there's still some pledge that still refer to this one. So working with thing like that gotta be like the responsibility of the maintainer. But of course, if you want to deeply understand about PipeCD, deeply understand about the control plane, it's recommend to reading around that. And if you find out some place that I'm not yet handle that one, you can just raise your fix. I'm happy with that one also. And I can say if you look at the UI of the PipeCD control plane, you see we still have guy here, right? So yeah, basically updates thing like this could really help as well. It's supposed to not like this anymore. And of course, how to make the control plane working with both PipeCD V1 and PipeCD V0 is the thing that we already almost done. So only small UI update and make sure that is the control plane working with both is the thing that the maintainer is working right now. Also thing like this and like that, if you already testing the PipeC UI, you see something like PipeD V0 add from suggestion, PipeD V1 add from suggestion, you may see that, yeah, like the platform provider for V0 and for V1, we do not have that anymore. We have it and we have that. So yeah, that's the thing. Maintainer responsibility is keep things right. Why the contributor responsibility is to make the new things the way more, I think, easier for the newcomer and have less headache, but still have some output right away. So I recommend if you are the new contributor and you supposed to working on that one. But if you want to have longer leave and have more responsibility with the project, I recommend to check out the migration task. Is the main priority or plan for PipeCD currently is to migrate from V0 to V1? Yes, yes, it is. I think mostly if you look at the task here, the big thing is almost done, and because it's done, mostly right now it's shift from actively changing the code for PipeCD for V1 to two part. The first one is ensure the control plane working with both V0 and V1, which mostly done, but still has something being like just like I explained before. And the second part is we're trying to have more plugin. So it's up to you and up to your idea. Stunning idea is really recommend. And other than that, documenting the V1 is way high prioritized as well. I think Rahul is currently in chain for that one, and it's not just like uh, nah, I don't want to do just the documentation. But if you look at that closely, we have a lot of things that lack of documentation. If you are the newcomer and you feel hard to understand what exactly the pipe CD right now has and can I say, how can I use it and use that? Basically the reason is because we lack of documentation. That's why we really want to have a better documentation right now. That's why last two contribute last two mentorship program project of PipeCD is about the documentation, because we really think that we can only move faster if we can have a better documentation. Then we working so hard for that. So next question is about, are there any recurring need where contributor can help with testing the one? Yes, yes. That's why I said, if you look at this one, making PipeCD control plane work with the PipeCD V1, that's why I said it's basically like you can just start using PipeCD in your own. Of course, both V0 and V1 I recommend, but it's more like we recommend to use new one, the V1. And while you use the V1, you will notice that a lot of documentation still being like, or and when you're using the V1, you may notice that the control plane that not working well with some part of some specific scenario, because the V1 probably is not yet fully support in the control plane. And when you notice that, there's the chance to contributing to the control plane. And the second one is when you have an idea about a plugin and you want to make a plugin for PipeCD, you will see that when you working with the plugin, you will has the chance to commit to the SDK, which basically I think the one of the main mentee we have in term one of this year. His name is Mohammed, and I think he's not being here today, but he's very active on SDK things. And after becoming mentee of PipeCD, I think for the next term he will become the mentor in PipeCD project. And I think that is the good example of where you can contributing to the project and get more and more responsibility in the project. Um, Next is, what will be your intimate advice for newcomer who get involved to pursue to be take on a contribution? I think both is necessary. I can say both non-tech and tech contribution, because as non-tech contribution, I think actually using PipeCD no need to find the PR to count yourself as the contributor to the project. I think it's not just spicy for the other open source. It's the same as well. You need to start as an user first, which means that you need to actually install the project. You need to actually use that for your pet project or for your self project or for your work or for your anything. And while you use that, you will always find the contribution chance. I think that is the same thing with any project, not just by CD. Also, um, when you find time or motivated enough to commit back to the PipeCD, I think that's the second stage. You can find the PR that updating the doc. You can find the PR or the issue to say like you found the error here and there, and also you find that it could be better if you go that way and this way, or discuss about the project, or like speaking about project in your local community meetup. Yeah, I hosting meetup in my local as well. So just standing up and being speaker anywhere is a great thing as well, because I can say as an organizer of the meetup in my local, one of the hard part is trying to find speaker for monthly meetups. It's always headache. So if you standing out and you say, hey, I find some interesting project and I can talk about that project, or I can say about my contribution part, or I can say about my experience on something. It's really great. So yeah, that's the thing. And for about tech contribution, it may require you patient, uh, more patient and more motivate to working on tech contribution, especially in the AI area, like in the AI generation like this, because recently just not just our project, but I think most of the open source as well. I talking a lot with the other maintainer of other project as well. We got a lot of spamming PR that basically only AI generated, just like poor prompting, poor like find something just that, and you find even not just for the code by changing, but for the documentation as well. This is like changing this but not well tested. I can say that is really hard for the maintainer, for us to have a lot of PR like that is drain our energy fast. You can imagine like you got ton of PR that poorly written. That's like basically just fix a part of the problem, not the whole problem. You will get headaches right away, and your energy will drain right away. So um, recently, the maintainer team, I mean, not just PipeCD project, but for the other as well. I think everyone said that in this AI generation, the block is the reviewer. Of course, it's because of the reviewer. People expecting that because the productivity, the code generating part is being easier. It means that it's more and more PR come. But the point is to find the exact valuable PR, and doing that is the hard part for now. So we tend to ignore the thing that we feel like is just poorly AI generated, because as I said, we do not have enough energy and time for everything. So I recommend you, if you actually want to do with the thing, try to be fully responsibility on what you commit. I can say, if I'm really, really sorry if I cannot check everyone PR, but once I look at the PR and when I understand the PR well, and I can easily pointing out that it is the PR that the people who commit that doing seriously. It's not necessarily to be a big PR, but it's the small as well. If they actually understand what exactly will be.
Yeah, someone raised it. I think it was a mistake. No worries. Does anyone have any more questions? Feel free to raise your hands, or in the chat box. Yeah. So should we call it off? Yeah, please go ahead, Khan. Great. Thanks a lot, Khan, for sharing that. I think that gave everyone a good idea as to how they should contribute and how they should go about everything. And Aditya, please feel free to post your question in the Slack channel. We'll be happy to take it there. And I think we are good to go, Khan. Thank you everyone for joining. See you in the Slack channel and yeah, bye. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Also, if you miss some sections in this meeting, the recording will be up on the channel soon. So check it out there as well. Bye everyone.